Ladies and gentlemen, the moment that you guys have been waiting for is here. The Hive Mind officially has a podcast. I am K the God, as some of you may know from TikTok and maybe YouTube. And I'm here with the rest of the Hive Goons. Go ahead, introduce yourselves. The Goons, go ahead.
I'm Grayson. Y'all know me from TikTok.
Yeah, face reveal of doom. Face reveal of doom and despair. Next person.
Yo. It's the best. You probably know me from TikTok only. The actual leader of the Hive Mind. Google Gladiator, certified wiki warrior.
Bro, like, it's staying in there, bro. It's staying in there, bro. Bro, who's next, bro? Introduce yourself, bro.
Me. I'm Gravity Titan. You guys know me as the Green Lantern guy. That's how pretty much everyone knows me.
I bet. Who's next?
You need to introduce the last guy?
King 6. You might know me as Unk. Yeah, bro. Yeah,
bro, it's too many people talking at the same time, bro. Just let him get his introduction out the way, bro. We're violating Six's time. Go ahead.
King 6. You might know me as Unk, the old head of the group, as some assholes would say. But
yeah, pushing 50.
How old are you exactly?
Yeah, correct.
Want to put it up for the camera?
It was like 38, right?
40?
Yeah.
I thought it was 48.
45.
Oh, okay.
All right, bro. So now that we got the most embarrassing part of the podcast out of the way, today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a plethora of topics. Let me pull those up real quick. So, obviously, we're comic fans here, so we're going to be talking about comic-related stuff. We have some DCU topics. We got Man of Tomorrow first. Then we got some news with the Batman Part 2. We already know Grayson is going to stand Robert Pattinson when that segment comes up. We have some MCU and X-Men topics. Then we have some DCU Batman topics. I think we're going to do the DCU Batman topics beforehand, low-key. And then we have top 5 MCU movies. And then we have random versus battles or random hot takes at the end. All right? Sounds good.
All right.
Diving right into it. Man of Tomorrow. Who would like to give their thoughts first? I can go first, but I feel like I've been talking a lot. So if any of you guys want to jump in and give your
forte, bro. You can get it. You got it, bro.
Bro, say that, bro. Run that by me one more time, bro.
That's your forte, bro.
My forte. How is my? So are you saying that I'm a yapper? That's what you're accusing me of right now?
Yes.
That's just not. That's just objectively. It's just objectively not the case.
When it comes to the DCU, so you can start.
Okay, no, that's fair. When it comes to the DCU, that's fine. Like I'll concede to that. But in general, I'm just not a yapper. So we're just not gonna go with that narrative in public right now.
He's right now trying to disprove that he's not a yapper. Y'all hear this,
bro? Fuck that, bro. Let's just jump right into the fucking plot. So first things first. Man of Tomorrow, we already know so far, is going to be Superman and Lex Luthor teaming up to face a bigger threat. We now know that bigger threat is 100% confirmed to be Brainiac. Starting right there, what are your guys' thoughts on Brainiac showing up for the first time in like proper live action form after like...
Wait, real quick, for the confirmation, is it like confirmed by James Gunn or was this like a leak from like The Wrap or whatever?
Well, The Wrap is like a very like high profile source. They're like on the same level as like Hollywood Reporter, Variety, Deadline. So like usually when those types of trades report something, it's like pretty much like done deal. Like it's true. It's like there's only like maybe a couple of times I could think off the top of my head where they were wrong, but like usually like the studios give them the trade. They give the trades the news and then they're allowed to release it. So yeah, I would say it's. And James Gunn's been teasing Brainiac too.
Or
yeah, no, you go ahead, Greg.
Okay. My biggest thing with it is I think like Krypton is undeniably one of the biggest parts about Superman's character, right? You bring Brainiac in there, that can bring up more of Krypton's past with Superman, especially after the, you could say, controversial clip from the Superman movie of, Superman's parents, what they said. I think this is a great way to look more into that. And on top of that, this could also be a way to help introduce Zod, which is, in my opinion, outside of Lex Luthor, I think he is the best Superman villain. And I think this is a great way to introduce him through Brainiac.
I mean, just to like jump off. Oh, go ahead, Grayson. My fault.
No. I was just saying, I think the whole concept of Brainiac and like the whole history of Krypton where like, I feel like in like this universe, they're portraying the Kryptonians as being some kind of like warmongering type of, not particularly warmongering, but like less. They view humans as like less, or view like other races as less. I feel like either we can have like a retcon, like how it was in like Superman Birthright, for example, where that's not how it actually is, or like we just have like a more in-depth like exploration of like why it is like that, like what a part Kryptonian society made it so.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with most of what you guys are saying, especially Gravity. What I would say personally is like I said, agree with the idea of them exploring more of Superman's Kryptonian heritage because, like I said, like the cliffhanger in the first movie with like the twist with his parents, I feel like that has to get explained in some way, shape, or form. I personally don't think that they're going to be as evil as some people are expecting them to be. Like you just said warmongering, but you like kind of corrected yourself. I don't think that that's going to be the case at all. I honestly just think that it's like a desperation thing where they kind of just sent him to Earth, and because they're literally faced with the brink of extinction, they just kind of they're just like, all right, well, we don't really have a choice. We have to send him here. We want our race to survive, so now he has to kind of just repopulate this planet. And obviously, like you said, like they don't view us as sentient as them, I guess. So they're just looking at it like as if we sent like a human to like a planet full of ants, like we wouldn't care. So
You're right.
I think it's gonna be one of those things. As far as how Brainiac is gonna tie into that, I think that obviously like the city of Kandor is probably gonna be on his ship, and then they just go with it from there. I think that that's like the easiest way to like segue into Superman's Kryptonian heritage. And then we haven't seen Supergirl yet, but that's supposed to come out soon. They're probably going to have her parents. Yeah, exactly. So they're probably going to have her parents. Obviously, they're based in Argo City. But in the comics, they actually tried to go after Brainiac, I'm pretty sure, in Superman Brainiac by Jeff Johns. And then they ended up getting captured and put on Kandor as well. I might be mixing that up though. That might either be from the animated movie or in the comic. In the comic, either way, they ended up on Kandor and in Brainiac's ship. Bro, chill, bro. You know I read the comics, bro. You're the only hive minder. Bro, listen, bro. I actually read for the stories, bro. Bro, I read for the stories, bro.
What Twitter page you found that on?
I don't know why we're pretending that like I don't read the most comics here. Like it's just is the truth. I read
the most comics here.
Like this guy Grayson is a Reddit warrior, so I don't know why he's like trying to criticize me right now.
I've read more than anyone here.
Yo, you.
Anyways,
Google you open Google and you go through
bro, let me finish my thought, bro. As I was saying, I don't know how they're going to get the parents of Supergirl on Kandor. I just know that happens not only in the animated movie, but also in the source material. So I do think that could be something for Supergirl to get closure on, because then she could see her parents again. And I think that, like you said, Gravity, a good way for them to set up Zod, in my opinion, is to do the new Krypton arc where Superman, after fighting Brainiac in Superman Brainiac, he has to move the city of Kandor because the bottle that it's in, it can't be contained because it's off a Brainiac ship. So he puts it next to the Fortress of Solitude, and then it expands into like Kandor on Earth. I think that if they do that arc and then have like kind of like a civil war between the Kryptonians of actually like Krypton and then like the humans on Earth, because they're not going to want this fucking alien race to just be on their planet now, and the Kryptonians are looking for a new home. So then you could just have like the super extreme like pro Krypton people on that fucking city to like pull Zod out of the Phantom Zone or something like that. I think they could go down that route. So
Zod has followers. Yeah,
exactly.
It's very possible.
Abyss.
No, but you mentioned this while you were yapping. That Supergirl. How do you think Supergirl's going to tie into Man tomorrow?
Honestly, I just think it'll be a Brainiac setup. Like I think that like
an end credits type of thing, or maybe like last.
Maybe an end credits type of thing, or maybe like a name drop during the film. Maybe like when we dive back into Supergirl's history on Krypton, because they're gonna showcase like how her upbringing was. Maybe we'll get like a flashback to when Kandor was taken, or a reference to it. I don't think we'll actually see Brainiac in Supergirl. I think it's a little too like late for that. It's already been filmed, and I think they're casting Brainiac now. So yeah, I just think it'll be either mentioned in her backstory or just a name drop, and then maybe an end credit scene.
They don't even have to do like as big as a name drop. Whenever she explores her past, just have like Brainiac be like this like god that they revere that nobody knows about, like for sure. Like you should maybe like an image or something, like in the Hall of Justice, like it's just a dumb callback. You just have like Brainiac built up as this like mysterious figure that nobody knows anything about, or like how it really, whatever they decide to do with like how much knowledge is on Brainiac, just pose him as like a phantom threat. So when we get the drop in Man of Tomorrow that he's connected to the stories in Supergirl, obviously like we know as comic fans, but to the casual viewer, like it's gonna be a crazy twist.
I agree. 6.
Loki, you were talking about.
Hold on, my fault, Grayson. We gotta let speak his truth.
As far as Superman Man, as far as Superman Man of Tomorrow, I don't have like as as big as an opinion on it as you all do, but I am really excited to see Brainiac because I think that'll be the first time we're seeing him in live action. Correct?
Properly. And
Well, not like
Yeah,
outside of like a show. Yeah.
Yeah,
outside of a
show
show that barely anybody even knows about in the first
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. So I'm really interested to see how he is done, and that also, and I am, like you said earlier, where it kind of painted Superman. The first Superman movie painted Superman's like parents to be like you said, warmongers or whatever. I actually want to see how they go down that road. I would be interested if they actually like did make if that's actually what they were. I think it would be kind of a cool twist to see. I know it actually like.
Yeah, because that's definitely one of the biggest takeaways from the movie is the way that like how Superman's parents were talking about like Earth's people is that they are so much less than a Kryptonian, right? And a lot of people didn't like that. They don't feel like that's what, that's how his parents should be.
Technical
but that's how they were in the movie.
There you go.
And Grayson, you good?
Yeah, no, my light's broken, bro. So I have to use my fucking monitor as a backlight.
Oh, did
No,
it just
you're
turn off? So I just lost my entire train of thought. I'm not gonna lie. What was I saying?
No, you were just talking about the twist with the L's and how it could tie into things in the future.
So outside of, Snyder fans not exactly being the biggest fan of that movie, that is the most controversial thing to come from that movie. Not the way Jimmy Olsen was, not the way that, Lex was. It is that clip alone. So and with James Gunn also saying like that's just it is what it is, like that is not an edited clip. We'll see how that goes because he could be lying, but at the same time, that genuinely may be the way he paints the Kryptonians in this universe. Right. And I think that Supergirl can expand upon that, and I think Man of Tomorrow can expand upon that.
Fair. I don't think it's a lie. I think he genuinely wants the clip to be what it is. I just think what we'll get is further context on why the clip is the way it is. So like I said, I don't think that he even said, I think in the Rolling Stone interview that he had, that he doesn't view Jor-El and Lara as actually evil. He just views them as a race of people that are trying to prevent their race from going extinct. So if you look at it from that perspective, I think when we get to know more of Krypton's backstory in Supergirl, it'll contextualize everything about that planet, and it'll probably give us some more context on how Jor-El and Lara of this universe actually were. And I think that Superman himself, like in this universe, I think that's the real payoff, because in Man of Tomorrow, if he does interact with the people from Kandor, they'll obviously be able to explain to him like who his parents truly were. He'll get to meet some of his people, and he'll get that like kind of closure and be like, oh wow, my race of people actually weren't evil, and they did have good people, but they were just like humanity in the sense that they're flawed. You know what I mean? So I think that's definitely the approach. The one thing I do want to ask you guys.
No, I disagree. I think that they're gonna have his parents be more like aligned with Zod philosophically, because we were talking about how like Zod might be set up in the second movie, and we could do something with that. I feel like if you had like Superman's biological parents ideologically like similar to Zod, I feel like that would just make Zod like a more interesting villain in like the third movie.
I don't know, because it's kind of like part of the reason that Zod hates Superman in the first place is
because
that
of his
he
dad,
is like against the House of L.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of entire trope is vanquished unless
and
like
it's a very
Jor-El
important
is
trope
like
too.
Alive and like betrays Zod, then that's different. But like based on what we know right now, like that would ruin the reason why Zod hates like Superman.
To add to what Gravity's saying, I think that what Gravity's saying about the L and Zod dynamic, I think that's very crucial. That's not something that you can like change, because it kind of if you get rid of that, it kind of annihilates the entire reason as to why Zod hates Superman in the first place. So I think personally what they're going to do, Grayson, and I, like I said, I disagree as well with like the notion that they're just warmongers. I think what's going to happen is to still have that contrast between Jor-El and Zod, even though Jor-El obviously sent his son to like conquer Earth. I think what it's going to be is, in Jor-El's case, it's more so, like I said, a last effort thing, and he doesn't actually want to do this morally, but because of the fact that they literally have no other choice, he has to send his son to do it. Zod, however, and obviously everyone, this isn't like a secret, everyone on Krypton at a certain point in Krypton's history is aware of the possible destruction of the planet. Jor-El's the one who like foretold of it. So Zod is probably someone who's like, we should be just conquering planets just naturally or like normally, because we could be setting up and providing other races with our superior technology, and we can be basically just setting up shop there instead of just only being restricted to Krypton.
Like space colonization.
Exactly. Space colonization. And then because of the destruction of Krypton, right, after Zod has been saying this and preaching, hey, we should just be colonizing instead of just staying here. After Krypton gets destroyed, and obviously, like, the House of El would be against space colonization, and so would pretty much most of Krypton, which is why Zod would be frowned upon. After it's destroyed, exactly, and he would get trapped in the Phantom Zone. After Krypton's destroyed, and Zod finds out, let's say hypothetically, he finds out the real reason Jor-El sent Superman to Earth, he could look at Jor-El as a hypocrite because Jor-El fought him on that when they were both alive and on Krypton. But in the last days of Krypton, Jor-El resorted to the same thing that Zod was trying to do the entire time. So he could have resentment to Jor-El for that. And he could also just have resentment because of the fact that Jor-El didn't want to, he didn't want to follow him. Yeah, he didn't want to follow him from the beginning. And then Krypton was destroyed completely because of that. Zod could be like, yo, if we would have just colonized from the get-go, we'd still have civilization because we would have been spread across the galaxy. Now our planet's destroyed, all of our people are gone, and we have to rebuild from pretty much nothing because you guys didn't listen to me. That still creates that tension. That's
beating the yapping allegations,
bro. Yo, bro? I'm just fleshing out my argument, bro. I'm just saying, bro. Alright, bro. It just fleshes out. It fleshes out the dot, bro. All right, bro.
Land the plane.
I was trying to land the plane, bro, but this dumbass had to interrupt what I was saying.
You were just driving the plane in circles.
That's what I'm saying. All right, you know what, bro? Go ahead, bro. Take it over. Give your thoughts, Abyss, since I was yapping. Go ahead.
Just genuinely nothing crazy.
You have to know for everybody here.
Bro, go ahead, bro.
Yo, what? Like, like, pipe down, relax. The adults are talking. Like, deep down.
And adults are talking, bro.
Oxymoron up here, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Big word.
What is the best moment?
Bro, first, yeah, okay. Bro, just Abyss.
Go ahead, Abyss.
Yeah, my permission.
Simple as this, bro. Kay said it, like, the original, like, 100 sentences, like, the 100 words in the sentence, bro. Like, we got that. The other, like, 17,000, we could have kept over there. We get the point. Zod opposes Zora, and then whether or not you go with the parents being, like, genocidal against, like, Earth, or if you want to go with, like, the humanitarians that were forced to, like, into whatever, you have them align with Zod or not. Either or, it benefits Zod's character because he has more depth in his, like, confliction with the House of El, or it's like a new take and you can dive into new themes, maybe the greater negatives of colonization. It doesn't matter. Point is, either or is just setting up perfectly for the next few movies in the Superman saga.
Pretty much. Six, what is going on over there, bro? Do you have something to say?
The greater negatives of colonization.
Bro, chill, bro. He misspoke, bro. Just go ahead,
bro. No, bro.
I do want to talk about this, though. One of the best things about Man of Tomorrow, though, is, like, with Brainiac's forces, that we could genuinely see, like, our first, like, large-scale battle.
Wait. Six, bring the cup back out.
Bro, what, bro?
Bro, we can't, bro. We're running a business right now, bro. We can't be fucking interrupting the segment for the bullshit, bro.
But, like, this could be one of the, like, first large-scale battles we see within the DCU, and this could bring in a lot of different characters. You know, this could bring in Batman to help them. They could bring in John Stewart's Green Lantern because we know Hal is cooked.
All right to go.
They could bring in some, like, other heroes as well. Maybe we even see older ones from the JSA period. Like there's tons. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's tons of different ones that you could choose from. Like, there's lots of potential here, and you could showcase a lot of characters in this, especially because I know that Kay is of this belief as well. Like, we think that this is what's going to lead into a Batman Superman World's Finest movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. 100%.
But with Robert Pattinson's Batman, correct?
Yes, of course. You wouldn't want anyone else's Batman, obviously. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. The merger's happening.
The merger is not happening. Robert Pattinson should stay in his confined, grounded reality. He can be the greatest Batman of all time right now, but we already know when the DCU Batman rolls around, it's gonna absolutely mog everything over
right now.
Yeah,
right now.
DCU Batman.
Nah, honestly, what'd you say, Grayson? One more.
Well, will we make it to the DCU Batman?
I think we will. What last flop? What flopped? What flopped? What flopped?
July 11th?
No, this guy Grayson
July 11th.
Perception.
What flopped?
Should I do it?
Are we saying Superman 2025 flop, bro?
A little bit.
Is that what we're saying? I mean, it's
Super
profitable.
shit, that really offends me, Lois.
Listen, bro. It's lore accurate, bro. It's lore accurate. But the movie was profitable.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Generated over 100 million in profits. Can't say the same for Man of Steel. That's all I gotta say.
How much did it generate in profits?
I think like 42 million. that shit, bro. That shit was tough, bro. Nah, you know the funniest thing about that though? They'd be like, yo, adjust for inflation. You adjust the box office for inflation too. So if you're gonna say Man of Steel technically made like 900 million with inflation added on, that means the budget was also like 500 million. So it's like the same fucking profit margin. Like it doesn't really.
If you're accounting for inflation for the ticket prices for the like how much money it made, you have to count on inflation for the studio prices, like how much it costs to actually make the movie.
Exactly. Not to mention, box office isn't the only thing that goes into a film's success. People have to actually like the movie. Man of Steel was split 50-50 down the middle. 50% of people hated it. 50% of people liked it. This movie does not have that problem.
I think the majority of people liked Man of Steel. There was like
maybe
There was a majority. It was definitely a majority of people liked
when it came out, majority of people.
I wouldn't say
when it came out, yes.
If you want to say like majority of the casuals, then like I would agree with you. If you want to say majority casuals like Man of Steel, I would agree with you because it's not hard to please casuals. But if we're talking about like critically acclaimed and audience acclaimed, I don't think that it was 50-50. The critics hated Man of Steel, and that isn't the case for Superman.
I would like explain Man of Steel is that like it's a good action movie, but as a Superman movie, it just doesn't hold up in the slightest.
Like, I agree. I think
it's just not a good Superman movie.
I don't think that
as an action movie in general, it's good.
I don't think that it's a bad Superman movie as much as. Oh, good. Sorry. No, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's why I don't think it's like a 50-50 split. I think the only people who had a problem with Man of Steel, which is like fair, like the only people who had a problem with Man of Steel when it came out, I know like many people changed their mind retroactively, but when it came out from my memory, I don't think that many people like really had an issue with Man of Steel.
I saw a lot of people having an issue with it when it initially came out. I didn't understand it because I didn't read comics at the time, but I still saw a lot of hate surrounding it.
It's like, it's also weird too, because this is like a completely different conversation. I feel like people are really like pick and choosy about when they want something to be comic accurate and when they don't, right? Because if you look at the MCU, like a large part of the MCU, for example, they get critic ravings all the time. Like critics rave about their movies all the time, at least in their prime, they did. But you just like a lot of those movies just aren't really like true to like if that happened to like Superman or Batman, like a character who's obviously way more popular than somebody like Ant-Man, let's say, like they would get way more flack for it. You know?
I think it depends on how you do it though, because you're right in the sense that people are iffy and they're like they flip flop on whether or not they want something to be comic accurate or not. And I honestly just think it all boils down to whether or not the change compromises the character. If the change doesn't compromise the character, then people are going to be fine with it. If it does, then people are going to complain. And that's what you saw with things in Man of Steel. Like, for example, the change with Pa Kent and like him actively telling his son like to let kids die to conceal his powers. That's just something that Pa Kent would never do in the source material, which is why people think that the tornado sequence when he dies is stupid. And that's why people think that when he's talking to him after he saves the bus full of children and he tells him when Clark is like, should I have just let him die? And he says maybe, people think that scene is stupid too. I'm also one of those people, even though I like Man of Steel.
And then Zack Snyder made that shit 10 times worse too. When he went to see the Superman movie, he made a tweet talking about crypto, didn't he? Or it was like an interview or a tweet or whatever. Didn't you say that Pa Kent like killed crypto in this universe?
I did hear some shit like where crypto was like the dog that they like put down in their universe. I did hear something like that.
Yeah, that Pa Kent put down to teach Superman the fragility of
like that shit's just bro. The Snyderverse is just the Snyderverse is that's just the DC universe from Doom of Despair, bro. Like that's just what it is, bro. Like every like you take it's the DC universe of Doom and Despair, bro. Like it's just I don't know, but Grayson, to your point again, like it just depends on if the change compromises the source material. If it does, then it's not good.
I think is that yeah, I feel like it. Or you can go right after. I'm gonna be really quick. I'm not gonna give you an essay. The character that is compromising is just way more popular, or there's already an existing adaptation that's like within like the public consciousness. Then like there'll be an issue. Like for example, with Superman, the Christopher Reeve movies they've been in like the public consciousness for like years and years. So that's just informed everybody about the idea of Superman. You look at like Ant-Man for example. Like I know I use Ant-Man a lot, but like let's use Ant-Man for an example. like there's no like popular depiction of Ant-Man prior to his MCU appearance, so nobody cares like when like oh he's nothing like what he's like in the comics.
Yeah, also
Or
that
something
it's
like that.
Scott Lang
Yeah.
now
Compromise.
instead of Hank Pym.
That's also true. It
Yeah,
does
I mean-
depend on the significance of the character. You can change like
Yeah.
fucking Kite Man, but like changing Batman obviously is going to
Like
be way
the way
different.
I've always looked at it is like the characters that are like most essential to that like universe in terms of like world building outside of Earth and on Earth, those characters are like the most important. So for like DC, obviously that's the founding members of the Justice League, Titans, maybe the JSA. I love the JSA, so I always want to include them. And then you look to Marvel, obviously their biggest thing, well, my favorite thing about them is the X-Men. So like the biggest ones like Jean Grey, Cyclops, Wolverine, Xavier, many
Right.
more. Like those
We
ones
missing anybody?
shouldn't be
I feel like
changed.
Six wanted to say something.
No, I didn't want to say nothing because I just
like,
know like how much you glaze Cyclops. Like I understand that. So as soon as he said that, you smiled.
Okay,
at me.
we'll
So I-
mention
I-
Magneto too. We'll mention Magneto as well. Okay.
I knew you got mad, bro. It's all right though.
But yeah, it's just like those characters are like the most popular characters from their respective universes, so they shouldn't have too much change about them. It's live action, things are going to change, but there are things that are essential to the characters that shouldn't change. What we're talking about here is like a bad example. Like, what should we say? Imagine they adapted the Court of Owls and just didn't do the Talons.
Well, that's
Right?
about to happen in the Batman part 2.
Yeah.
That's happening.
No, they gotta have the Talons, bro. They gotta have the
I just
Talons.
wanted to say something real quick before I said my thing. Abyss, what were you trying to say?
No, I was just saying, I think pretty much all superhero media, live action especially, none of it's comic accurate. When you really look down on it, and I don't think that's ever been like a negative or negative like criticism of the movies. Because like the most popular superhero movies like Blade, pretty much all original storytelling. The Fox X-Men movies, and like majority of that isn't comic accurate. Even down to like the characterization on some people. Like nothing's comic accurate. Daredevil, like okay, that was a bad example. The point is, the reason people thought that movie was bad wasn't because it wasn't comic accurate. It was because it was bad. But I think for the Man of Steel comparison, most people just don't like the movie because, to be honest, if you're not like a Superman fan who like cares about the character, Clark just is barely compelling, and then it's just mindless action. So the casual people will just be like, "Oh, action's cool, but movie's alright."
Do we know anybody like that?
Like the I grew up with, Superman, the animated series. I grew up with like JLU. I grew up with all the kind of stuff, all the animated stuff. So and this is before I read comics. When I went to see Man of Steel, I was like, that just doesn't seem like Superman to me. Like I'm not a fan of that. And I was what, like 10, and even I knew that shit was bad.
Go ahead,
I was
Six.
very different on it because I read very little on Superman. The only time I really like seen him was in like Justice League Unlimited, stuff like that, and some of the Superman movies. But when I saw Man of Steel was actually the movie that made me care about Superman because it showed like in the beginning of Man of Steel when he's in the bar with the dude. And the dude like pushes him, and he goes like outside and like fucks with it. Like it's showing that he's basically has to walk on eggshells.
This guy just left, bro. Got something going on, bro.
Basically,
The
him
moment
having
Six
to.
started talking, he did, bro.
You just did.
Nah, it's all good.
Basically,
He'll
him
be back.
having to walk on eggshells in like a human world and having to adjust to this human world. And I felt like they gave him, at least to me, I felt like they gave him a lot of depth. And Man of Steel made me care about.
And then he killed
Superman
Zod.
more. Yeah. Then he killed
Like,
Zod.
dude, you remember that scene where he's talking to like the general, and he's like, "You'll never figure out where I live, General." And then the very next sentence, he's like,
I'm from Kansas. Yeah, like what the fuck? Shut your stupid ass up, boy. Nah, bro, that's what I'm saying. Like Man of Steel, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. For me, Man of Steel. Oh, he's back. He's back. Yeah, he's back. Man of Steel, though, to me, isn't what like killed the Snyderverse. It's just not. Man of Steel to me was a solid movie. As a Superman movie, it has its flaws, obviously. Like nobody's saying it doesn't. But some of the moments in Man of Steel are just they're stupid. Like, there's no way else I can explain it other than utter stupidity, in my opinion. And again, respect to Zack Snyder as a creator because he has some great films. He's got The Watchmen, 300. I personally love 300, but it like
Never
Man of
seen
Steel.
Watchmen, by the way.
I had.
Watchmen for sure.
Why are we just hold on? Why are we just
Never
lying
seen
on
one.
K the God on stream
We're
right now?
not
Like,
lying.
yes, we
You're
are.
the
never seen it.
You're the
Yo,
comic
Abyss.
book reaper, bro.
Abyss. Abyss. I've told you I seen Watchmen. I just have.
Because you want, no, because you wanted to
you've
watch
seen
an animated
Watchmen?
movie where
You've
there's
seen
a
Watchmen?
see it
Name
before.
one-
I wanted to watch the animated movie because it was a new version of it.
Yeah, because you never saw the original.
All right, so we're just gonna ignore him because he's chatting. Anyway, as I was saying,
It's just-
Man of Steel just has objectively dumb moments.
Why did Dr. Manhattan decide to come back to Earth?
Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're moving on. We're on a podcast.
doesn't
This,
know.
bro,
He
no,
doesn't
I
know.
do.
He doesn't
We're
know.
we're on a
He doesn't
podcast.
know.
I'm not gonna waste, bro. We have
Next
exactly. We
topic.
have to move through segments. I'm not gonna sit here and this is not a regular Discord call. We can't just sit here and go back and forth.
Saved by the
It's
bell.
just-
saved by the
Bro,
bell.
either
Saved by
way,
the bell.
it's not saved by the bell, bro. We just have to wrap things up and keep moving, bro. You're ruining the flow, bro. You're ruining the production. That's what you're
We may not
doing.
be able to do all
Just
the
don't lie
topics
to
in
the
this.
people.
or
That's what I'm
it
saying.
might be too
But
long.
we're 30 minutes in, bro. We're 30 minutes in, bro. You're ruining the production. We gotta get things going. As I was,
Let's move.
bro, let's just, bro, forget the Man of Steel. We weren't even supposed to talk about that. It was a side plot. Moving on to Grayson's favorite topic, the Batman Part 2. We haven't really heard much of anything about this movie outside of the fact
Outside
that
of the script being complete.
the script is complete. Matt Reeves is back. You said
all time.
say that one more time. You kind of cut out for us.
You did.
Other than it's going to be the greatest superhero movie of all time, we haven't heard anything other than that.
I mean, it has the potential. The first one was pretty. Everybody already knows. I have the first one as the second greatest comic movie of all time. The Batman was really good. This one does have the potential
What's your
to
number
be.
one?
What's in-
Batman Begins. Batman
Yeah.
Begins, the best Batman movie of all time. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's just not.
I don't know
Dark
if
Knight exists. The Dark Knight
Actually, it's the
exists.
dark.
The
Now, remember
Batman
Abyss's
exists.
reasoning? Remember? He was like, "Oh, dude, look at this fight scene in the Darkest Night. If you sped it up, it would be really good. It's not sped up. It looks ass.
Yeah,
Like,
What? No, see, we're just lying. The technique in
That's what
Bales
you
is the best
said.
out of any Batman.
bro. We gotta, bro. Hold on, bro. Hold on,
the
bro.
technique
Hold
is
on,
good
bro.
when he's moving in slow motion.
Before-
Bro, we gotta get some order, bro. We gotta get some order in this goddamn podcast, bro. We can't just be. This
We're
is not
about to
a.
talk about we're about to talk about Pattinson in the DCU. Like it, we
We're
need
just,
to
bro.
acknowledge the best Batman first, and then we can move on to that.
Bro, we're not talking about Pattinson in the DCU because he's not in the DCU and it's not happening, bro. What we're talking about is the Batman Part 2 as a movie itself and its own Elseworld continuity.
I think if James Gunn wants the DCU to be successful, he will make Pattinson.
I think if James Gunn wants the DCU to be successful, he'll make his own Batman and keep Matt Reeves' Batman separate. I think that's the best option for all of us because there's Grayson.
working in the industry right now to make his Batman movie, I think that's what he's gonna do.
You said say that one more time. I couldn't hear you in the first part.
I think he's gonna get the greatest creative who's working in the industry right now to work on his Batman. Matt Reeves.
He's gonna get Christopher Nolan.
No, I am excited
okay.
for that Odyssey movie. Side topic.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's the real greatest creative. Either way, the Batman is just Elseworld. It's been stated like a million times at this point. I don't know why we keep beating. I don't know why we keep beating this dead horse. I don't know why we keep beating this dead horse.
No. You said that shit about Christopher Nolan. You're so funny because you haven't even seen the best Christopher Nolan movie.
You're right. I've
You
seen the
haven't
Dark
seen
Knight trilogy. That's all I needed to
You have
see.
not seen Interstellar is better than the
I
Dark
don't
Knight.
have to watch Interstellar to know that Christopher Nolan is the greatest creator. He made Batman Begins. I just don't have to watch anything else.
Okay, bro.
I don't have to watch anything
The
else to
Dark
prove my
Knight- The
point.
Dark Knight is still better in every quantifiable measure.
It's just not.
Man,
But
ADK is the greatest comic book movie of all time. Simple.
we're derailing. It's just not. Let's get back to Matt
let's
Reeves'.
go to the Batman Part 2.
Let's
You know,
get back to Matt Reeves'
Wait,
The
wait,
Batman Part 2. Gravity,
Who-
go ahead.
Who's the villain's gonna be? Like, do we have
We
any,
have
like,
no
actually
idea.
confirmed villains, or is
we
it
have
just
no
rumors,
idea.
leaks, stuff like that?
We have no idea. The only rumor is that it's the Court or Hush. Those are the two rumors.
It kind of like based off everything we know now, it just kind of has to be Hush. It doesn't really make sense for Reeves to purposefully set that up in his own designated scene, and then not explore it further. If it was just like a random Easter egg in like past Batman cases, it's whatever. Probably not going to explore it. But then like Reeves made it clear that this is the focal point of this movie and how it affects Bruce's character. So he's most likely going to be the reoccurring villain in the sequel.
I agree.
I do. I mainly I wish it was the court. Although I do agree with the bit. I do think it would be Hush, but I do wish it was the court because Court of Owls is like one of my favorite.
I think you can still do the court.
No, he definitely can, but I think it would also tie in. It would tie in perfectly with how they made Martha and Thomas Wayne like evil, like working with what's his name, Falcone, working with him, and I think it also because the Waynes in the Court of Owls, which Kay has not read. He hasn't read a single New 52.
I don't read the New 52. Yeah, I don't like the New 52.
In Court of Owls,
read
like,
general,
the Waynes.
I've just read the most
Waynes
Batman
were
here,
corrupt.
by the way. Like I just have.
I've read the most.
Six.
comics
Hold
here,
on.
by the
Let's
way.
pause. Let's get on Unk's ass real quick because Unk's in here pretending that he's read any amount of Batman remotely close to me, Grayson, or Abyss. You just haven't.
I either have read
Six.
You
said.
Wallahi, I think I've read I've definitely read just as much.
No, you haven't.
Probably when they were released when they first came out, and then he just forgot them like later on.
No, Six has Six like thinks he read them, but he has no like ability to put them together and understand like Batman's history. He's a skimmer. He doesn't.
Yeah, he just looks at the page. Exactly, he just looks at the pages.
He just looked at the pictures, bro.
Wait. I'm a skimmer, but we have like the actual K is the
I'm
actual
not gonna
wiki
lie,
lawyer.
guys.
Why are we just saying K? What do you mean? Why is that is not true? If anything, Abyss, you're the wiki warrior.
You read the most comics in the group when you had
you just have like the most moments of like saying something about a comic and it just being absolutely like baloney. Like the other day,
That's just cap.
You were literally last week.
Last week, what?
Asked about we were discussing Killing Joke, and you're like, "How do you think Joker found out where Barbara was?" Commissioner, he tortured Gordon to give her up. Like completely, just like I don't even understand.
Bro, hold on. So me just misconstruing the order of events equals I didn't read the book. It's just been a while since I read the comic. It's a simple explanation. Like, what are we talking about?
I have a question. Hold on. Okay, do you think you've read the most comics out of everyone here?
No, probably not. Because I think you've read all of Hal. Yeah, okay, you don't have to say good boy. Like, what the fuck is that? What is that? Like, have some respect.
Wait. Let me get back. Let me get back on track with what I wanted to say. I hope the court does play into it too because the Waynes and the what the fuck is Hush's real name?
Elliot.
Yeah, Elliot.
Yeah, this is the guy who's read more Batman though.
Bro,
Right,
this is a
the
lot
guy.
of names I gotta remember. A lot.
I got the
The
name of the
Elliot,
villain, bro.
the
Like
Elliot,
Yellow Lantern for Hal. What's his name? Oh,
the
Sinestro.
Elliot, bro, the Elliots, the Cobbleplots, and like all the like court of like they were back in the day, like when the Court of Owls was in it, and the Waynes too.
That's where the court was founded too, bro.
Yeah. So like I think he could do something really well with tying the Elliots, the Waynes, the Cobbleplots, and the Court of Owls. I think he could do something interesting with tying them all together. So yeah, I would be really interested to see that.
I think that's why like. I don't know like how many movies. Like I assume bare minimum he's gonna get 3. I would want him to get more, but like bare minimum, I think Robert Pattinson's movies is gonna be a trilogy. I think the Court of Owls will be saved for that 3rd movie. The 2nd movie, like I agree with you. I think it'll be Hush, but I don't think Hush is gonna be the only villain. If that makes like I think there's going to be either like a secondary antagonist, like how in The Dark Knight Two-Face was the secondary antagonist. Yeah. I think that there's a possibility that Two-Face will also be like a secondary antagonist in the Batman Part 2. Just because, remember when they were doing promotion for the Penguin, there was like that fake newspaper?
Yeah.
That they were giving out? Like in the newspaper, there was like a little excerpt that was like new Gotham DA putting a dent on crime. Like that's just obviously like a fucking...
Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
You gotta keep your monitor on, bro.
Yeah.
You can change that setting, right? To where it just stays on.
Yeah, no, I have no idea how to turn that on. Not gonna lie.
Just make sure you move your mouse every couple of minutes so it doesn't. Yeah. But no, I agree overall. I think Harvey Dent's for sure. Like if he's not an antagonist, I think he's for sure getting introduced. So yeah, I think that's for sure gonna happen. As far as the main villain, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like an amalgamation of Hush and the Court, and they like use both of them as antagonists because again, we're talking about the grounded Reeves verse. So if we do get the Court, we all know we're not getting the Court that is actually like the court from the comics. We're not going to get zombie Talons. We're not going to get Electrum and Dionysium and all of that shit.
Talons, but they'll just
We
be highly
can.
trained
They'll just
instead of undead motherfuckers.
or there may not be any Talons, and Hush could be like
it's
Hush
just
could
gonna
be
the
the
organization.
Hush could be the William Cobb of this like universe. You know what I'm saying? So it could be something like that.
I disagree with that heavily, bro. I like comic book movie. You can say this in comic book media and in comic books. Like, there's just an escalation. You'll start grounded and that'll escalate. Like, if you look at the first Iron Man movie, there was nothing in there that yo, this guy came, bro. There was nothing in that first Iron Man movie that would have told you that like 10 years later this guy was gonna be fighting like purple aliens with magical stones. Like, there's just gonna be
It's
a level
such a
of
bad
escalation.
argument. Such a bad
I-
argument. So first things first. Hold on.
honestly
Go ahead, Six. Go ahead.
No, I didn't know. I was just if the Court of Owls is actually going to be in the Batman 2, I think it's almost like 0%, like close to 0% chance that we're going to see the Talons like how they are in the comics. Like I
agree.
don't think that's going to be.
I agree.
I agree.
Based on
I
what
don't
they
think we'll
said,
be
it's
seeing
probably
zombies.
just like another shadow mafia, like the
Yeah.
same with the
exactly,
Falcons, the mullet, and then like you'd have like it be the Elliot family, and then like you feel like they were probably like the most powerful, hence why they had this shadow mafia in the court. But then when like Thomas slimed them out, like they lost everything. And then like Hush is like taking revenge because that's why he's so like upset at the wins.
Wouldn't you just be upset at the Waynes because he blames Thomas for getting his dad killed? His dad also wasn't like some high society kind of figure. His dad was a journalist. Like, it would be like saying Clark Kent. Like I don't think in this universe the Elliots will be particularly high society, unless like something happened way before.
Probably
like,
not, because in the
the
they already changed the origins.
of the Cobblepots
Yeah.
as well.
They already
were also
changed. They already changed the origin of the Elliots in the Batman because his father in the comics was never a reporter. Like he just wasn't.
yeah.
So they were both wealthy like Gothamites, like alongside Thomas Wayne. So
No, but like, what was the job that his dad had? Was he also a surgeon? Because I know.
I
like-
believe so. Actually, hold, let me fact check that. I'm pretty sure
Well,
you might be
maybe
right.
tell us.
Grayson, did you read the Riddler Year One comics for the series?
Paul Dano?
Yeah, the one written by Paul Dano. I'm pretty sure there's something about it, about how like regular people can get like high society or and like rich off of it with regular jobs because of secret like money laundering, and then like it's splitting the pool just for being involved in the organization because they need people like as accountants. Like it would be low profile. You don't want like a big firm of accountants doing all your money at once if it's dirty. So they got like little people in the grand scheme of things. Like a Riddler was one of them by accident because he was noticing where the accounts were going and who were like filling it out. So you can just have like the Elliot family be like the most popular reporters in the city. So they have like a lot of like social power. So,
Yeah.
and it brings them up in like the secret mafia.
Yeah, they could go that
And,
route.
like-
Go ahead, Six. You good?
No, I was saying like low key, I keep forgetting too about this man. Even though he's probably gonna have the same role that he had in the Batman Part 1, which is like kind of like a side villain. But I keep forgetting that this man Oz is definitely making a comeback, especially with how the Penguin like giving his full transportation into the Penguin. So that's definitely gonna be cool to see too.
For sure.
Confirmed a season for the Penguin, by the way.
No, they're saying it's a possibility, but they aren't like set in stone on anything right now with the Penguin. I did Google the origin of Hush. He, like Tommy Elliot himself, is a surgeon, but his dad was just a wealthy like Gotham citizen.
What wiki told you that?
It wasn't a wiki; it was just Google. Wait, hold on.
Oh,
why are we
yeah.
why are we coming at me as if anyone here was aware of what the origin was off the top of their head? That's the reason why I Googled it in the first place.
You should have read the books.
Like Grayson, you were wrong first because you thought that the dad was the surgeon. Tommy, who actually is Bruce's friend, is the surgeon. His father wasn't a surgeon, so that's just not what happened. I bet you. You know what, Grayson? Since we're checking everyone's comic knowledge, Grayson, let me ask you a question right now. Right, what happened to Thomas? What happened to Tommy Elliott's parents in the comics?
Bro, he in the comics, bro. In the books?
In the books. Because you read it more than me, apparently.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, bro. In Batman Hush, bro, there's like it's revealed that Tommy Elliot, he He meddled with the fucking brakes of his parents' thing and got them killed. That's how they died.
Both of them? Both of them killed?
No, one of them survived.
Who?
I think it was his mom who survived.
And how did she survive?
Because Thomas Wayne saved him.
Oh, okay. So he got someone with some comic knowledge right here. Okay, he's actually right about that. Abyss didn't know though. Abyss was quiet. Abyss knew nothing.
We can move to the next topic.
Now we can.
I knew. I didn't forgot about.
Going.
I do.
But I know about the break.
That sounds like he probably didn't know.
Wait. Six wants to say something before.
I do want to say one thing real quick. One thing that's like a major part that if the Court of Owls are getting introduced, what's that dude's name? Y'all gotta help me with names. I'm not good with names.
Who? What does he
the
do?
One that's like, the one that's like, okay, we know you don't know. Like, I don't know why you saying that like that. We know you don't know.
Okay, hold on.
Like,
Let's see.
The one that's supposed to be like his brother that like died in the car accident. I mean, no, not died in the car. Lincoln Mark. I think
The
that
other
could
Talon.
be some.
I didn't know that, but Kay didn't read Scott Snyder, so he has no idea.
But I mean, like, I just do know who the character is, though. Like, you don't have to read the New 52.
But did you know he's supposed to be like Bruce Wayne's brother?
All right, next topic.
Next topic. All right, bro. All right, so moving on to the final segment of the pod because we've been yapping for very long at this point. We have versus battles. First versus battle is going to be actually a post from Alex Ross. He posted the Justice League versus the Avengers. And we're actually just going to give our thoughts. Go ahead. Who would like to go first?
Are we talking like team fight, or are we going one-on-one, like for each of these characters where they match up? Like,
We do both.
well, I mean, we can match them up.
We'll start with like the team fight, give our general thought on that, and then we'll hop into like the one-on-ones that they could have.
Honestly, with a team fight, I feel like the problem with that is that it really just comes down to like the most powerful characters, because everybody else really doesn't matter. Because whoever wins, like whoever of the most powerful wins, they're just gonna wipe out like the lower ends, right?
Yeah.
So like, let's say hypothetically, Thor beat Superman, and it was just Batman left because he beat everybody he needed to beat. Thor's just gonna beat Batman, right? So like at that point, it's really just in a team fight, it's whoever's the strongest who's gonna win in that scenario. And then in the picture, Thor's the strongest there, and then on the DC side, there's Superman.
Oh, I
think
Boy, this man
I thought he was
about to
saying-
go crazy, boy.
I thought he was saying Thor was the strongest in the overall picture. I was like, yo, this guy's committing treason, bro. What's going
But
on?
he is fit now. 'Cause, like,
bro, that's such like a
Thor's like a close.
Oh, wait, Hulk's not in that picture, is he?
No, he's
No,
not.
Hulk's not.
Nah, we gotta swap someone with Hulk, because Hulk just belongs to, like, he just deserves to be there. Like, he has to
we
be
can
there.
swap out
Like,
Vision. We can swap
Yeah.
out Vision.
or we, honestly, to me, we can add Hulk, and the outcome is still the same. Like, to me.
It just doesn't change.
Yeah,
It doesn't
so, like-
change.
Yeah.
The biggest issue between the two is the JLA just has like more high tiers. Superman, Hal Jordan, Flash, Wonder Woman, Batman, right? That's 5 like high tiers. So now on the Avengers, Thor, Hulk, Iron Man on like his best armor. Like, no, who else do they have?
Scarlet Witch.
maybe.
Captain America.
That's
Yeah,
4.
they were Scarlet Witch.
So that's 4. And 2 of them, Superman and Flash, have speed advantages on all of them. So like the glass cannon, Scarlet Witch out of there.
Hal Jordan is also faster than all of them, too. Like,
Hal
we're going
Jordan
based off
beating
of
up
feats.
Iron Man, Hal Jordan 1v1ing Iron Man and like literally one-shotting him. Boom, they're like half a high tiers gone. Now it's just 2 high tiers versus 5. Like
2 high tiers that
exactly.
get speed diffed by
Like, the
Superman
Justice League
and
is
Flash.
The Justice League is 2 stacked. Now, if you had like the Avengers team and you had Thor, Hulk, but you also decided to bring like random people in, you're like, hey, here's Jean Grey Phoenix. Hey, here's Legion. Like, obviously, then we'd have.
We know
to really
Cap ain't
work
working with mutants, so that wouldn't happen. So
I hate the way
that
people
one out of
treat that, bro.
There's a mutant on his team, bro. Wanda's on the team, bro. But I mean, even if you look at the street tier realm of the teams as well, it's also not really that close. Like Batman is beating Captain America pretty handedly. He has better skill. Yes, he actually is. Yes,
Why?
you agree with me. Why? Because we all agree that he's equally like
You speak French?
yes, we all physically. I think that Batman and Captain America are equals. They demonstrate the same feats in comics. I think that speed would actually go in favor to Batman. In terms of strength and durability, though, they're pretty much the same. Then when you take into account that the skill component goes to Batman because he just, again, has greater martial arts showings and also has more extensive martial arts knowledge, which has just been documented consistently. Cap doesn't have that edge. And then you throw in gear, and then we have to take into account that Batman in base is just walking around with gear that's meant to counter high tiers like Superman, The Flash, Wonder Woman, etc. Pretty much his teammates, and he has to fight characters like that. So
Even if you wanted to say,
your logic like kind of tracks when we look at the books, though. Okay, like this is my problem here.
you're kind of derailing the. We literally just spoke about this.
It
Like
sounds
we
like he's
literally
ducking,
just
not
spoke
gonna
about
lie.
this.
He sounds
No,
like he's
we're
ducking the conversation right
even
there.
if
so
you
I'm not
even
gonna
if you
lie.
want even if you wanted to say that
We can
Cap
have that
had-
conversation after.
even if you wanted to say that Cap was like equal to Batman when it comes to either martial arts or speed or strength or whatever,
How they were depicted
It's
in the JLA Avengers crossover.
it's just one thing that he does not have, and that's gear. Batman has way too much versatility on any of these. Besides Black Panther, he's a little like iffy, but like Captain America, Hawkeye, way too much versatility on both of
Because
them.
Black Panther could be a Justice League level threat, right?
That is.
Yeah, exactly. But
What
seriously though,
No, with
serious?
Pratt too, it's crazy.
when it comes to the ones, right? Like I think Batman's beating Hawkeye 1-on-1. I think Batman is beating Captain America 1-on-1. I think he's beating Black Panther 1-on-1. Like the only person on like the Avengers side, and we're counting Hulk still, right?
yeah.
Okay, sorry. The only two people on the like Avengers side that can actually like contend to high tiers and possibly beat them on DC side is just Thor and Hulk, and that's it. No one else there is contending, Wonder Woman, Superman, Hal Jordan, Flash. Like they're not doing that.
I agree.
Low-key,
And so even when it comes to ones, like just
how do
takes
we
that.
how do we feel on, because I'm a little bit iffy on it, mostly because I don't know I don't know what's his, I don't know Thor and Hulk like it, like their feats like that. How do we feel about Wonder Woman versus like Thor or Hulk?
I think it's a speed diff. I think that Hulk and Thor, in terms of raw power, they're shown to be at worst relative to Wonder Woman. On the high end, stronger than Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman just has better speed feats. So when you take into account the speed and also her being a more skilled fighter, and her actually having win conditions with the lasso of truth and with the sword, not for the Hulk specifically, because Hulk has a healing factor. He pretty much can't die effectively. But Wonder Woman versus Thor, I think that she can incapacitate Thor. It depends on the Hulk too. She could incapacitate the Hulk. If it's like in a stronger version of the Hulk, like the Immortal Hulk or like Toba Hulk, obviously not. I think that Hulk would beat her. But if we're talking base Hulk, base Thor, I think that she does have the chance because of the speed, pretty much, and the skill, superior skill with relative strength and durability.
Thor's back on Wonder Woman.
Why do you believe that,
I didn't
sir?
want to be the first one to say it.
No, like realistically.
Well, Grayson,
Wonder
we know
Woman
why you
really-
think Wonder Woman
we-
loses. We know why you think Wonder Woman loses. Go ahead.
The real reason is because Wonder Woman realistically is about God sphere level in terms of like cosmological scaling. The same people, I forget what they're called, but the Immortal Thor, the most current one, like Thanatos, like Zeus's father or something. It was the big god. They're the cosmologically equivalent to every being in the God sphere, and around that tier would be Thor because he just stole the powers of one. He did that to Galactus too, which is around God sphere level in terms of scaling. Thor just has like superiority to these beings, where Wonder Woman more or less, sorry, just scales to them.
And you think that in terms of speed, this matters?
I think either have a speed advantage.
Well, that's because we just disagree fundamentally on how speed scaling should work. Like, you think that immeasurable is the same in both universes, no matter the type of immeasurable speed feat it is. Like, if Wonder Woman dodges 100,000 immeasurable speed projectiles, you're gonna say it's the same as Thor just dodging one because they're immeasurable. We can't actually quantify it. I think that while that has merit, if we're looking at it from like a general aspect and we have like what's the word I'm looking for? We like just universally agree, like immeasurable is immeasurable. Like, we're not trying to add that quantification. If we just say, okay, this is immeasurable, that's the metric, but we have 10 immeasurable things, I think that the one who is dodging more immeasurable projectiles should just be faster, just because it makes the scaling not lazy. I feel like it's lazy to scale. It's not lying though.
okay, all you'd be saying an immeasurable thing is in this context is just it's like dimensionally above. There's an inaccessible gap between the finite and then or immeasurable. So all that
Sure.
is, it's like if you're allowing for like superiority to be within the same immeasurable tier, or there's like a hierarchy there,
Yeah.
you just need to quantify where it would be for both instances, because all you're saying by just
Right.
saying it's immeasurable at a flat line is that this inaccessible amount of speed above. You still need to quantify where in that level or degree everything would be. So let's just say Wonder Woman dodges 10 more. It could be quantifiably below what Thor dodged in his. So
No,
unless
I
you quantify
agree.
them, which is impossible, you'll never determine
But that's what I'm
superiority.
saying. If we already understand that at the conclusion it's impossible to quantify it, we should just then try and go based off of what we can deduce logically, right? So, for example, like I said, if there's 10 projectiles, in normal reality, dodging 10 things is usually harder than dodging one thing, depending on the speed. If we're agreeing that that speed is immeasurable for all of these things, we should just look at the quantity of the projectiles versus the actual speed that they're going at, because we all agree that it's immeasurable in the first place. If we utilize
It
the...
doesn't say anything.
No, but hold on,
I mean,
pause. Wait,
if I throw a baseball at you at 1 mile an hour
this
versus
guy's
I
just
throw
not...
no, if okay, I'll throw one baseball at you at like 90 miles an hour. Then I'll throw 100,000 at like
Yes, I'm aware that
0.0001
this...
miles per
I
hour.
literally just acknowledged that
It
argument, that
doesn't
the
matter if
speeds
there's
could be
yeah,
different.
so you
No,
just saying it's immeasurable doesn't tell us anything.
I understand that, Abyss. That's why I'm saying, as a collective, like, we should come together
good
when
there,
discussing
Six?
these things. I literally just said this verbatim. I understand that you cannot quantify how immeasurable something is. Because we can't do that, I think instead of just being lazy and just qualifying both characters as immeasurable, we should go based off of the actual quality of the feat itself. So if we know that both projectiles are moving incredibly fast, even though we don't know the exact speed that they're moving at, if I see Wonder Woman dodge 100 trillion projectiles and Thor's dodging one, and we both know at bare minimum these are just immeasurable speed feats, I would just take the feat that looks more impressive, because it's easier to do that and it makes the conversation actually move forward, rather than just saying, oh, well, both characters are immeasurable, when we already know that in the confines of their own universes, a character can be immeasurable speed and still be slower than another one. For example, the Flash and Superman. Flash has immeasurable speed. He's still faster than Superman. Wonder Woman has immeasurable speed. She's still slower than Superman. So we know that these things can exist in a cross-verse setting, though.
No, that's
Yes.
not crossfit. That's
No, I'm
inverse.
saying, I was about to say, in a cross-verse setting, the only difference is that you cannot quantify the immeasurable projectiles or the immeasurable scaling. That's what I'm saying. It's just easier to go that way.
Basically, what you're saying is to move the
Also,
conversation forward, let's dumb it down and then just lie and decide which one we think looks cooler to
It's
get
not a
conclusion.
lie. It's just not a lie.
It's a classic Hive
If-
Mind response. Instead of understanding,
It's
that
not a
you
lie.
Go to the books. You're not going to the books. You're just lying to your audience.
Bro, that's
Okay,
just not a
so,
lie, though.
real
Like,
quick,
it's a
real quick,
compromise.
Real quick. Final verdict is that Kay thinks that Wonder Woman is going to beat Thor because of the speed diff. Abyss thinks that Thor will beat Wonder Woman. And Six, what do you think? Between Thor and Wonder Woman. Based on what you know right now.
Based on what I know right now, because I don't really read comics for feats, I read them for a story, so I'm not like up to date on like all the feats.
Yeah, of course.
But from what I know, I do agree with Kay. I think his argument, especially with the immeasurable speech, I think that makes
Nobody's
makes
surprised
more
you
sense
agree
than
with Kay.
Abyss does.
Absolutely
I think that makes more sense. So I would say Wonder Woman would beat Thor.
Okay, and then Grayson, let's hear your reasoning for why you think
Wonder Woman
you know,
faster than Thor. That's the thing. So like, I don't think that like what Thor does is for Wonder Woman. I don't think her feat. What feat I'm thinking of, that Case I think is argument, is like the one where it comes from every corner of the galaxy and like she
Oh,
blocks
yeah.
all the.
I didn't reference that feat specifically, but like, yeah, you could use that one. But like, yeah,
That's
that...
I don't think it's particularly something that this guy Thor couldn't do. So it's like, I don't even think that she has a speed advantage on him. I think that Thor, from what I've seen of both the characters, I think Thor is stronger than Wonder Woman, and I think Thor just has more hacks than Wonder Woman. Like, I think the power that he gets from, like, for example, just Galactus, or like being a herald of Galactus.
I don't
think his hacks are just better.
No, that's fine. I don't see how we just assume.
you and Abyss were arguing about like the speed thing. I think at some point when you're arguing high tiers who are like at this level, you're just gonna get to a point where you're just gonna start arguing the cosmology of both the verses. So if you think the cosmology
that's my
of Marvel
point.
is better, you think Marvel, or if you think the cosmology of DC is better, you're just gonna think
Exactly.
DC. So
And to me personally, I think that the cosmologies obviously are important. If you can scale a character higher than another character, then you should be able to do that. But if we're talking to like characters like Superman, Thor, Wonder Woman, these types of characters where like they have relative scales, I think that it's lazier to just say both of these characters are immeasurable, so they have equal speed. When we know
the truth.
that's not the truth, though.
Let's-
Because hold on, Abyss. This is why. Hold on. Wait. Pause. This is why it's not the truth.
Discussing the cosmology would be the
Wait.
truth. in the
No, that's
matter.
not. I'm not talking about the cosmology now. I'm talking about the specific feats that are being represented, right? I'm talking about, for example, like Grayson brought up, the feat where Wonder Woman's deflecting all the god fragments that are traveling towards her at a measurable speed at bare minimum, right? I think that if we're looking at a feat like that versus Thor like reacting one time to like a speed blitzing Mjolnir from across the other side of the universe, right? Thor's is moving at infinite speed. So is the projectiles that Wonder Woman is reacting to. Wonder Woman's reacting to an infinite amount of these. I think that just at face value is more impressive. So when we get to that like stalemate where it's like, okay, they're both immeasurable, how do we move past that point? Because we know that characters can be faster than other immeasurable tier characters. I think that just makes sense.
You said, you just,
Bro, it's over, bro. We're going circular, bro. That's gonna wrap it up for the podcast, bro. This is the first episode. This shit was unprofessional, but it is what it is. The first episode is done in the books. We'll try to clean it up. Yeah, we'll try to clean this shit up for the next episode. If you guys like this episode, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share to your friends, and that is going to do it. Podcast episodes will be out every. What's the day we're gonna post these? Every Saturday. Every Saturday, the podcast episodes will be out.
Okay.
It's Saturday. It's
I can't
decided.
commit to that. I can't lie.
No. I'm talking about uploading them, not recording them every Saturday.
Uploading them, not
Uploading
recording them
them.
every Saturday.
Yeah.
So does that mean we're gonna like blitz
We're
out
gonna-
4 podcast episodes this weekend? Like I'm not. gonna
Bro,
lie,
he's
bro.
yapping. That's gonna do it. We'll catch you guys in the next one. It is what it is. It's been the Hive
Yeah.
Podcast. It's over. Goodbye.